some characteristics of people you admire, right? Like unconsciously. So
yes, sir. Again, it's our third session. I think.
Yes. So what else?
Yes. So I think we talked about almost. Yes, we talked about music. We talked about what we want to achieve in the near future in our last two sessions. Yes. So you tell me. I would like to know more about you.
Yeah, you gotta ask me some questions, otherwise I can't like come up with things to say.
Yeah, sure. So when did you completed your graduation? When did you complete your graduation?
So I completed my graduation back in 2015. Then I got into MSc, like mathematics, like to 1 year later. Yeah, like 2016. I joined for MSc mathematics. Then I completed that in 2019-ish. No, 18 or 19. Yeah, it was 18. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I had a back paper to clear, so that's what.
Okay.
So yeah. Then after that,
so do you teach? Do you teach maths? I mean, as you have done your masters in mathematics.
Nowadays I don't. I used to teach some mathematics like to high school students.
Okay, that's great. So you have that strength. I mean, you can teach both language as well as mathematics. Two important aspects. Two important subjects.
I feel like I've kind of lost touch with it. I mean.
Okay.
So I have to brush up on
it. You might have studied calculus. I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know about calculus. It's a part of core mathematics. Let's say pure mathematics.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know some of it. Yes. No.
Yes. Actually, we had to refer to calculus. Those I just don't remember the specifications, but we had to refer to calculus while studying economics.
Partial differentials, right? Partial differentials.
Yeah, yes, it's differentiations and all.
So I think you have game theory. For game theory,
yes, game theory, yes. John Nash.
John Nash's, yeah. Have you seen the film? Beautiful Mind.
Yeah, I want to. I want to. It's on my wish list. I haven't watched it yet. I think it's available on Prime, Amazon Prime.
Probably, yeah. He passed away like recently, like 3 or 4 years back.
What's
he
your
and
review?
His wife. Sorry?
What is your review?
My review of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice film. It's a nice film. It's like kind of like, yeah, it's a bit, what do you say, they made him look a bit better than his real life version, you know what I mean? Right. The thing is, he was struggling with some mental illness. I don't want to spoil it for you. So like, I want you to watch it and experience it.
Yeah, okay? Sure. I will definitely give it a watch.
Watch the film. Yeah. So that's one. Like I like this film. I like the film and his character. Like character as in like not really. I mean, I wouldn't want to be that person, but like at one point of time, I kind of had an obsession with John Nash's character, like his genius, And some people used to say that I had some of his mannerisms, like unconsciously. I kind of had, like maybe you kind of inherit some characteristics of people you admire, right? Like unconsciously. So some people used to tell me that you're being John Nash right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, we had one session, and after our last session, I was just going through the videos of music compositions of Ajay Atul, how they compose music, how they record. How they record the entire the entire environment that is in their studio, how they
Hmm.
rehearse.
Hmm.
So at that point, I was just fascinated by their career, by their musical compositions. So I want to ask you, you might have also felt like this. So whenever watch the videos or I read the inspiring stories of these great legends, these legends. So at that time, I feel that I also want to do something like that, whether it's in the field of literature or music. But obviously at that point we compare ourselves with these people who have set the benchmarks. I would like to ask. I often ask this question to my professors as well. How to how to make balance uh, between ambitions and satisfaction.
That's a question that I'm struggling with.
Yes, yes, yes. I have asked these questions to my professors or my relatives, but nobody gave me satisfactory answer because it's one of the most challenging question, I think.
You'll have to ask that to successful people, like
Mm.
not someone like me.
Even I have asked this question to some successful people as well, but they
Hmm.
didn't give a satisfactory answer either.
That's a relevant question. How to balance
Hmm.
ambition with satisfaction. I think it all depends on your personality. Like
Yes.
as long as you don't get your success get to your head, right?
Hmm.
uh, that's one important thing to take care of. Like when
Hmm.
some people become successful, they get carried away. They get carried away. Want to like wanting to achieve, just wanting to achieve a lot of things, right? Um, but then again, they can't just run away from responsibilities either, right? So there's that. So if you do, if you like evade your responsibilities, then you're not being a successful human being. You don't really care about the people around you, right? So there's that factor as well. I would say, like ambition is good, but don't let it trample on your personal life either, right? Your family life, because family is also important after all.
Yes, yes, exactly.
When nobody's around, you have to rely on your family, right? I mean, I would say,
Yes,
without my family, I would have been like, I would have been begging on the streets. It's because I have a
exactly.
supportive family that I'm able to sit at home and do all this work and pay for my internet bills. But I do pay for my internet bills now. But at least I get all the food and the love and the affection. Right? I wouldn't have had that like all on my own. Right?
Yes,
And
yes, yes, yes.
that that would cost a lot. So
So basically, we have to
it's
consider almost each and every aspect of our life.
yes, definitely. You can't just mm, make everything about career, right? You just can't
Yes,
make it
yes,
center everything around your career. There are other important aspects as well in your life, is what I feel.
yes,
And
yes,
I
yes.
I am one of those persons who do tend to get carried away by ambitions. So I try to warn myself, every now and then, like remind myself that I shouldn't be like that. So
That's great.
yeah, so that's what.
Musings about life.
Have you ever read this author named Fernando Pessoa? Fernando Pessoa.
No book. Any book?
Yeah. So
He's an author.
he was this Portuguese writer
Okay.
who I think we can find him relatable on so many levels. People like us,
Fernando Pesa. Yes, yes, yes,
Fernando
yes,
Fernando
yes, yes.
Pessoa.
Yes, yes, I remember his name because I'm studying. I'm attending
Yeah.
Baiju's classes for UGC
Uh-huh.
Net English Literature, and we
Yeah.
have to cover global literature. I mean, global literature.
Yes.
So that's why we have to cover Portuguese literature, German, French, Russian. So all those other
Yes.
languages apart from English. Yes, yes, I now I remember his name.
Yeah, and his
Yes,
most
so
famous work is the Book of Disquiet. You should read
the
that book.
book
It's
of
really good.
the book of the
The Book of Disquiet. The Book of Disquiet.
disquiet. Okay.
So yeah. So the thing
So
about
what's it?
Fernando Pessoa is that Fernando Pessoa, he used to be this clerk. He was this clerk who led a very uneventful life. Like just some ordinary lower middle class life, all by himself. And he wouldn't really, he didn't have a very active social life. All he did was, go to work, come back home, go to work, come back home, just the same routine. But he used to type. He used to write letters during his work, right? Because being a clerk, that's what he had to do, right? Write a lot of work letters. Then, coming back home, he would write a lot of stuff for himself, right? But he wouldn't really publish them. So what happened was he used to keep some diary, a journal for himself, and he would write as different characters, and
Oh,
he used to call them by different names. So we call those characters heteronyms. Heteronyms, basically
heteronyms.
different personalities. He describes those characters as different fragments of himself,
Okay.
right? And he the Book of Disquiet is about this clerk,
Hmm.
uh, which is kind of the most similar to him. The clerk's name is Bernardo Soares. That's what he
Bernardo.
calls that clerk,
Okay.
the clerk version of himself.
So you read the
Bernardo Soares.
translation. It's available in English, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, he wrote in English. He wrote in
Okay,
English as
okay.
well.
He wrote it in
He wrote
English.
in
Okay.
Portuguese as well as English, and he used to write
Okay.
really good English. And you should write his prose. You should read his prose. It's really good.
Hmm.
And you have to read it slowly. It's that kind of a book. It's not like a
Yes,
novel,
yes.
but he calls it a novel, a novel of
Okay.
this character. But all you see are these musings of this particular character named Bernardo Soares. At other times, you also see some other characters as well alongside. I don't remember some other names you do see.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's very interesting to read. You find a lot of his thoughts relatable. And he wrote this back in like 1920s or 30s, right? And
Okay.
we face that similar level of alienation, urban alienation nowadays, right? And
Hmm.
he foresaw all of that, like back then. He was well ahead of his time.
Okay.
And he was someone
Interesting.
who never got recognized for his work, when he was alive. He got recognized only after his death, like posthumously.
Okay. Posthumously.
Uh, yes,
Posthumously.
posthumously.
Yeah.
That's what you should read his works. It's really nice.
Yeah. I will. The Book of Disquiet.
The Book of Disquiet by Fernando
Yes.
Pessoa.
Yeah. I will Google it and I will buy the book. Otherwise, I will.
You can also get an ebook from LibGen. That's how I read it.
Yes. Otherwise,
I've,
I have access to my college library and another one, that is city library as well. So I will try to get that book from there.
definitely.
Interesting.
Yeah, what else?
Any other recommendation? I mean, novels or books?
Novels. I read
You
mostly
read?
fantasy novels.
Okay,
Epic
fantasy
fantasy.
novels.
I
Okay.
like the Lord of the Rings. Currently I'm reading The Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time. I'm on book
Oh,
6. Yeah, but I don't like
okay.
the TV. It's pretty bad. They ruined it. They kind of betrayed their fans. Like
Mm-hmm.
the fans want, the fans want true stuff. Like they want the story to be represented just as it is, right? And
Okay.
these people, they messed with the story. They made an entirely different story out of it. They even changed some
Mm-hmm.
characters as well. Really, they ruined it. I stopped watching it like by the end of the first season. I had a
Okay.
lot of expectations, Amazon, a lot of budget and stuff.
Hmm.
I was pretty excited initially. And then when they started messing with the characters, I just lost it.
When I
Now I
started,
just read. Yeah.
yes, yes. So when I started, starting learning the skills of English language, be it writing or speaking. So at that time, I used to, I was in college and I used to uh, imagine that I would love to go to the English speaking country and live there for a number of years and then write about my experience in that particular country, or
Mm.
any fiction or poetry. Not poetry actually. When it comes to poetry, I always prefer my mother tongue, because that subtle nuances can be those subtle nuances can be expressed through your mother tongue when it comes to poetry. So that's why, yet prose writing, when it comes to prose writing, I will switch to English. So I used to imagine that I would like to be an author, and as
Mm.
English is considered as global language and we get exposure to the entire world, so that's why I used to imagine.
Mm-hmm. I used to have the same thoughts as you, like to
Great,
learn,
great.
to read a lot of world literature, right? And then come back to my mother tongue and then create some original works, right? But
Exactly,
then
exactly.
I realized it's like a gargantuan task. You have to
Yes,
do a
yes,
lot of
yes.
studying. I'm not really prepared for that kind of work. Yeah, I
No,
just want to
actually
live.
you are, because you have that insight, that passion for reading
I don't
literature.
know. I like reading literature, but then creating stuff, I'm not sure. That requires a lot of work. It's just
Yes, yes,
I don't
yes,
think I'm really
efforts.
prepared for that yet. Maybe in a few years, I might try it. But then right now, I don't think I'm really equipped for that, because creating
Yes.
stories, creating characters, just like that,
Hmm.
and then again, especially when you're writing a science fiction novel, right?
Hmm.
You have to be true to the way civilization works, right? You can't
Yes,
just
yes.
create characters just for the
Hmm.
sake of writing a science fiction story.